the third.
So I'll just keep the notes on the screen. So she needs to sort of pick them.
Apologize to everybody who's reading.
Yeah. Even this, look how slow it is and everything's that long. Reliance.
Good evening and welcome to this meeting of Tuesday, October 11th. And before we proceed and adopt our agenda, it's simply like on behalf of council to apologize to Councillor Logie, who is online this evening, as well as members of the public who may be listening in. We are having technical difficulties with the internet. And so we do apologize. That's why we are late starting the meeting. But on that note, we will do the best we can. Overall, Councillor Logie, can you just show of hand? Do you hear us? Yeah, okay.
And I can hear some.
Okay, so we will do the best we can. On that note, Madam Clerk, let's proceed with the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you. I require a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Champagne, seconded by Councillor Kelly. That the draft agenda presented to council and dated the 11th day of October 2022 be adopted and circulated.
And simply to make a note that the chair's comments this evening will be at the end of the meeting. All in favor? Carried. Okay, thank you so much. Accepting the minutes of the previous meeting.
Thank you. I require a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Lockheed and seconded by Councillor Kelly. That the minutes of the regular council meeting held September 27, 2022 be adopted as circulated.
All in favor? Carried, thank you so much. Any business arising from the minutes? There being none. Any declarations of conflict of interest? There being none. Delegations to council, there being none. Now, committee reports, we don't have any committee reports. There is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment tomorrow. That is going on. Is that
Yes, it is.
moving forward? Yes, okay. And so unless there are specific comments, yes, for Public Works and maybe Parks and Recreation and Culture, yes, and Councilor Kelly.
Just through you, Mayor, to our CEO, what about the speed limit changes on the roads? I've had 3 or 4 calls from taxpayers, all in favor of it.
Yeah, so just to let you know, Council Kelly and the rest of council, letters go out tomorrow. So how we're gonna proceed, I figured it would come up tonight too.
Okay.
If you live on Quakely and there's a suggested reduction to speed, you will receive a letter. So if there's a change to the road you live on, you will receive a letter in the mail.
Good.
Then what we're gonna do is on social media, we're gonna put a general statement out that we are, council's reviewing the speed limits on these roads from this speed limit to this one. A little bit different. And that if anybody has a concern or an input regarding the speed limit, whether they live on the road or not, they can email the municipality. Then we'll gather all those comments, come forward to council for a decision on which roads get reduced or.
So it's up in late November,
The letters go out tomorrow.
they go to the talking about the final decision right now.
So the plan was to bring it to council at the first meeting in November,
Very good.
prior to the new term starting.
Thank you very much.
We've asked that residents respond by October 28th, which is the last.
So they have that
Last Friday of the month.
I've yet to talk to anybody who wants to be preached. They all want to. I'm just saying.
Good.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, it's very good. Thank you for ensuring that that's on this meeting. I just also maybe on behalf of the police services board, I do want to mention that there will be a post by Madam Clerk who oversees the police services board regarding citizens asking citizens to remove their signs, the please slow down sign, and to bring them in for the winter. At the same time, there will be 50 of these vests available for residents. They come in a little pouch, and I think they will be posted online as well. They come with a reflective band, and it's a very light material, and it fits all sizes. And so basically, it's a campaign by the Police Services Board to encourage pedestrians, cyclists to wear reflective clothing as the days are getting darker. And so we will be promoting that in the days to come. So thank you very much, Madam Clerk, for doing the sword thing of the excellent job.
That's great. Thank you. Seriously.
There being no further comments on any items, we will move forward to bylaws. So
I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Champagne and seconded by Councillor Kelly. That bylaw number 2022-46 being a bylaw to establish the remuneration for members of council be read a third time and passed this 11th day of October 2022, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
with Councilor Champagne.
Yeah, just to mention, it's something that we do before the next term of council, so they don't put the onus on the council. So some people may be back, some people may not, but at the end of the day, we're making it easier for the new council to step in.
Good comment.
We've done that for a while.
It's a good tactic, good approach. So all in favor? Carrie, thank you so much. We, on that note, we move to correspondence and information items. And Councilor Kelly, you are first to proceed with any items that you'd like to be mentioned or brought forward.
Well, I just like to refer over the Ontario Provincial Police building statement. It was in the paper that the neighboring community was paying a lot more for the contract than we are, and I thought, to me, we get good service. It can always be improved upon, don't get me wrong, I know it's a matter of availability of enforcement. Because I mean, speeding is an issue wherever we go, but I think we're getting a fair deal, in my opinion. Thank you.
A quick comment as well. I know our CEO always checks all these statements and compares year to year. And I do believe, just maybe a comment.
Sure. Sure, Mayor Rochford. So they always do a reconciliation and it's 2 years behind. So right now we're looking at the reconciliation for 2021 on the 2023 billing statement. When you compare what was actually budgeted back in 2021 versus what the rec is, the $5,000 difference on our year-end adjustment is based on the base service. So the costs that were budgeted back in 2021 was $395,000 and it came in at just say $400,000. So there's the 5,000. When you compare calls for service, one line dropped by 2,000, the other one increased. So it was pretty much bang on that area. Also, just to let you know that back in 2021, the reconciled amount for 2019 was 13,000. And then the year after, we had the reconciled amount for 2020 was just under 11,000. So we're actually, this is the lowest of the last 3 years.
Well,
Yeah. And basically, that's how they've come forward now for 2023, just for the public's information as well. They've looked at it and they figured that the cost prior to the adjustment is $581,000 for policing for 2023. And then the adjustment's about 5,000, bringing it to 586,000. So our monthly billing actually goes down for 2023 compared to last year by about $1,000.
that's great.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else that Councilor Kelly?
Thank you, Bill.
Councilor Logie? Any
Thank you.
items? That
No, nothing for me. Thank you for asking. All good.
Councilor Champagne?
We want to be in support of the municipality of Great Highlands for the speed limits. I think it should all be sent out to Fair Good Road Association. It's there for AMO and I believe Roma. It should fall under your Fair Good Road Association.
Okay, so maybe we should pass the resolution. Well, if we do that, then will we miss, if we wait to do that in November, do we miss anything? No, it goes into, yeah, okay, so November, okay. So yes.
Yeah. And the importance of the speed limits, right? So that's a big thing today.
No.
Not that's all our is.
They're saying in there that the people now assume that 20 is like normal for the speed limit. It's like become accepted as the current, yeah, normal, and it's not. Okay, so there being nothing else, then we will proceed, Madam Clerk, with approval of the correspondence.
Thank you. A mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Lonnie, seconded by Councillor Champagne. That council approved the correspondence and information as circulated with the agenda of October 13th, October 11th, 2022.
All in favor? We don't care, thank you so much. I agree, les compagnons, the first and last meeting, the resolution.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, moved by Councillor Kelly, seconded by Councillor Champagne. That council for the municipality of East Ferris approve the Ecoheo de Francoisia and the municipality of East Ferris to work in partnership for a grant application to the federal government's program Canada on Bike to offer bilingual activities for Canada Day 2023 celebrations.
All in favor? Resolution on childcare. And so this is brought forward following our meeting that we had last week at our, this was last week, yeah, the last Monday,
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, at the East Ferris Community Center, and where we heard from the parents. And with respect as well to the apartment organizations that provide childcare service, that retaining staff is a major problem and a major issue. So this resolution speaks to that. Let Madame read it, and then we can maybe see if there's any further comment.
Okay, thanks. I don't need a mover and a seconder to put it on the floor. Moved by Councillor Champagne and seconded by Councillor Lockney. Whereas the province of Ontario is currently experiencing in early years in childcare workforce shortage, and whereas access to quality licensed childcare is an essential component of Ontario's social and economic well-being and enables children to grow up with a sense of community. And whereas lack of licensed childcare is a barrier for parents to return or to enter into the workforce, thus putting a strain on families, hindering economic participation, and forcing parents to remain at home to care for their children. And whereas in the district of Nipissing, there is a higher demand for childcare spaces than the number of spaces available, creating wait lists that have parents waiting for several years prior to getting a space, if they receive a space at all. And whereas in recent years, the recruitment and retention of qualified registered early childhood educators and childcare staff has been a challenge that has been exacerbated by COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas the workforce crisis in the early years in childcare sector has been further exacerbated by the significant wage disparity between the compensation paid to RECEs employed by school boards and those employed in licensed childcare centers due to lack of funding, which has created an inequity for workers of equal qualifications. And whereas Ontario has signed a Canada-wide early learning and childcare agreement, putting Ontario on the path to reducing childcare fees to an average of $10 a day, which will create a demand for more childcare spaces when a workforce shortage already exists. And whereas the province of Ontario committed to create an additional 86,000 licensed childcare spaces in Ontario without an explicit solution for increasing the number of RCEs and childcare staff to fulfill this commitment. And whereas the province of Ontario's commitment to minimum wage of $18 an hour for RECPs with $1 annual increase until reaching $25 an hour does not provide an immediate response to attracting and maintaining childcare staff, and will take many years to correct the wage disparity. Therefore, be it hereby resolved that Council of the Municipality of East Ferris advocates for the province of Ontario to address the childcare workforce shortage in Ontario by immediately increasing the $18 an hour minimum wage and providing benefits to RECEs in licensed childcare centers to an equitable level, that which is paid to RECEs employed by school boards. And further, that the province of Ontario launch and financially support an accelerated early childhood education program to be completed within 14 to 16 months, similar to the program launched in March 2022 for the personal support workers, where funding supported the cost of tuitions, books, and other mandatory fees to help address the shortage of RECEs in Ontario. And further, that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded to OMSSA, Ontario Municipal Social Services Association, Ontario Coalition for Better Childcare Resources and Research Unit, Northern Ontario Service Deliverers Association, the non-AMO, and all 10 district social services administration boards in Northern Ontario and all Ontario municipalities to request or support the advocacy for this resolution. And further, that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded to Minister of Education Stephen Lecce, Minister of Education and Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, and Nipissing MPP David.
Any comments before we vote? We, Councilor Champagne?
Yeah, we had, like I said, we had a meeting a couple weeks ago. We heard a lot of clear in our own municipality. Back in August, I believe we had a meeting with Emo and trying to get something resolved. We only have 20 minutes to talk about it, but at the end of the day, we should be fighting for this. Obviously, there's a big issue for us in Ontario. It's nice to say that you're going to do something, you don't put a dollar value to it and get the staffing to go with it. It doesn't mean anything. That's the biggest issue that they have, right? What we heard and what we've seen. So I'm supportive of that for sure.
This is not new. Our grandchildren have a waiting list, that was a deep river. And it's across Ontario, it's not specific to Northern Ontario, Southern Ontario, and West or East. There's a shortage and there's a shortage of viable BC workers. Wages have to come into play at some point. And the fact that we're now looking at 7.8% inflation just exacerbates the situation as the court said. So, but this is not new. I mean, this should have been dealt with. I mean, it's like our doctor shortage, shortage of teachers. It's across the board. And now the nurses are being capped and so forth. And our medical profession, it's broken. Unfortunately. So it's across the board. And someone has to have the wherewithal to address it. So it's, but I'm with the council campaign. Let's get it on the way and hopefully make a difference.
Councilor Lougheed, any final comments? Are you okay with?
No, I echo that completely. I mean, I left the workforce entirely after I had my first kid because I couldn't find childcare. So it really does matter. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that this is something that we're taking on and that we're vocal about. So thank you.
I would like to thank as well on behalf of the municipality, both our CAO who worked on the fairness resolution, and then I'm clerk who's part of the initiative, the advisory committee is bringing this forward. So a good effort by council, by staff, and I echo Councilor Champagne your comment that maybe tonight we won't be moving on, resolution for the next. I guess it's whenever the next conference is called, we had said to meet with the Minister of Education clients. And so that will be part of our
January.
January
Would be
discussion.
the first conference, which would be rolled up.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So on that note, all in favor? Carry. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we move to a resolution request to attend the Northern Directions conference by the Northern Ontario Policy and Emperor.
Mover in a second, moved by Councillor Kelly and seconded by Councillor Champagne. That merit shall be approved to attend the Northern Ontario Policy Institute Northern Directions Conference to be held in North Bay, November 16th to November 18th, 2023.
And simply to add a few comments is because the meeting is being held in North Bay, there's no travel expenses. So the fee is and I've already registered, but so in that head, just in case. So I did get the early rates, it's $234. So it's affordable, and on the agenda are things like revenue generation for rural communities, which I thought would be an interesting topic for the next term of council. And so, and it's being held in conjunction with the Canadian Rural Revitalization Foundation. So that would be the one.
If I may, I'd also encourage you to look at becoming a director of that organization, simply because, in my opinion, our community has been face forward when it comes to innovations and doing a lot with very little.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're a good example. We provide a lot of recreational activities. We have excellent volunteers, and you're one of the leaders in the community. So I would encourage you to be on the director's board.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think, I'm forward to that thought. All in favor? No? I'm lobbied, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Now report back to council after attendance. Thank you. Thank you. Approval of accounts payable.
I require a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Kelly, seconded by Councillor Shamrock. The council approved the general accounts for the municipality of East Terrace as indicated in the check registers dated October 11th, 2022 in the amount of $191,164.80.
All in favor? Let's see, all carried. Thank you so much. We come to other business. I don't believe we have an in-camera meeting this evening. And so on that note, I'd like to make a
Proceed to other business. Did we just add something regarding?
Yeah.
Fire department?
So just to let for the public's information as well, we're going back to having the trick or treat night at the Astorville Fire Hall on Halloween on 31st.
Yeah.
I know it's being organized right now. They're, I think, somewhat a little late out of the gates, deciding whether it was gonna happen or not. So there's gonna be a flyer going out. It's gonna be on social media as well, looking for monetary donations for the community. Then the idea is the Volunteer Firefighting Association will take the funds to buy the treats for the evening. And then I thought maybe it would be good for this year for council to maybe put forward a donation for treats, seeing as, you know, they're getting things going and it's a couple weeks away. So personally, I thought $200, but it's up to council. 250, either or. So
Well,
I look at a box of chocolates at Walmart and they're $21 for a box. So
Oh, I
you
know,
think,
right.
look at, you know,
I do want to make a comment in support of this because I find that if you have been listening to the news recently, there's all the whole issue about safety of candies. So it's so important for children when they do the trick or treating that they go to places that are safe and that are controlled. And so on that note, I think it's a good initiative by our community to try to centralize some of these activities. So well done. And
Yeah.
so with that thought, all in favor of 250.
So I'll read the resolution.
We always thank you so much. Okay.
We just prepared it because we like to have it on the book.
We're good. Well done.
So moved by Councillor Shamrock and seconded by Councillor Lottie. That council for the municipality of East Terrace donate to the East Terrace Volunteer Firefighters Association an amount of $250 for their Halloween trick or treat.
We should also mention that we have a small budget that we have not entirely used for different activities of this sort for the community. So it's within our budget. So
Yes.
on that note, all in favor? Carry. Thank you so much.
No comment too. Also on November the 19th is the Canadian Columbus going to have their annual Christmas party.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
we decided to have it in 3 years since they've had it. So
That's significant. I agree.
it's very good and we want to attend. Get a hold of a night. And get a ticket.
Because they give so much to our community, and when these organizations aren't running, it does cause issues at certain areas, and so. Yeah.
Very reasonable.
Yeah. The final comment is one to just provide a final comment, because as we are at our last meeting in this term of council, and so I thought we should just say a few words, nothing too long. But I want to say that when we were elected to serve as a council in 2018, I think we never thought that we would be faced with a variety of issues, certainly not a pandemic that posed unexpected and unprecedented threat to the residents and to the businesses in the community. And then I think there was a surprise of the arena roof when the engineer said that it needed to be replaced. Then who could forget the municipal fire garage, the fire there and all the equipment. I don't think people realize, the citizens, to what extent this was a problem for us, because it's not just a building, it's a lot of small parts that were burned, it was signage. And so we lost a lot of items, certainly, and it did cause everything, and it caused nightmares, the challenges that had to be surmounted. And then there were issues like the dock on the lake that gave their notice. There was a whole redevelopment of Castle Home, and the list goes on. So there were certainly difficult questions that we faced, but I would say that certainly as an event that occurred during our term of council, I would say that there was none that was more painful than seeing our deputy mayor, Michel Boyer, who worked to the very last day, almost just about, on council activities. And I felt that that was a very touching moment to see how it was important for him to serve the municipality of East Ferris. And so he passed away, as we'll recall, on December 24th, 2020. And so despite the magnitude of the problems that struck, I guess they were somewhat consecutive in a certain way, I found that each council member, everyone around the table, rose to the occasion to help our municipality navigate through the unfamiliar and sometimes extraordinary times that we faced. And my impressions are that each member of council contributed equally to the many accomplishments of council. And so as a result of this joint effort, I was always very proud personally of the fact that we were able to maintain some semblance of a winter carnival at the worst of the pandemic. I felt that that was important. It set a tone in the municipality that life goes on, and we are going to persist and see this through. Certainly even with the centennial celebration, that was certainly not an easy event to organize in that environment, but certainly then we came together as well to solve important decisions about our municipal office, about our medical office, and so just to name a few accomplishments. And so as our term of council comes to an end, so does the role of five. I know Deputy, I forgot to mention at the opening that Deputy Mayor Tana could not be with us this evening, but we certainly will share with him his remarks. But so the role of five extraordinary individuals, each of whom has served the municipality with distinction. And on behalf of council members, I think we should also thank the many citizens who served on our boards and on our commission, who worked alongside with us. And we thank them very much for all of their time and their devotion to the municipality. I'd say as well, we should acknowledge the elected officials from surrounding communities with whom we also sat on various boards and commissions as well. It was good. And last but not least, I think we need to, and we will certainly in a more social environment at Christmas time, recognize the excellent work of our CEO and clerk who work with the council on a regular basis. It's been absolutely outstanding in terms of support, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And so it's really special. A special word to you, Councillor Erica Lougheed. You've decided not to seek re-election. And so in a few weeks, you will be leaving council. And so you are leaving with our gratitude and our best wishes for the years ahead. And we know that your expertise will continue to shine in our municipality as you will find many ways to bring your talents to serve the municipality of East Ferris. And we look forward to that. I close by saying how proud personally I am of the fact that we're able to come together. You know, we face different issues, and we came together and we overcame our differences of opinion for the common good. And by doing so, I think we've contributed to making East Ferris, continue to make East Ferris a wonderful community, a community that we're all very proud of to call our home, Natrashinu. And so I hope that all of us will accept the invitation of the municipality in a short amount of time. We won't say the exact date, but at some point there's going to be a grand opening, an official opening of our new municipal office. And I think it would be the right moment to formally recognize the work of this council, the council 2018 and 2022. And so we look forward to that formal moment then at that specific event, which should not be too far in the future. So on that note, I close and my personal comments, and I open it up. If the chair's comments, if there's anything you would like to add, you're welcome to do so, but it's not necessary. There will be other opportunities, but simply, I think it needed to be said this evening that I think overall we've done an excellent job in so many ways. Councillor Kelly.
You're addressing the chair, not the person. No, I just want to say thank you to everybody, staff, fellow councilors and mayor, deputy mayor. You know, and we never thought of it, that we would be in a situation you're right, that we went through. And it speaks to the professionalism of our staff and our council, that no one had ever, at any time, in my opinion, was overwhelmed by it all. We took it as it came. We maneuvered, stick handled, whatever you want to say, the words are. But we come out on top, and we come out, and there was no panic. in our general populace, which was big. We found out that when we had the big windstorm and the flood. You never know, it can go sideways very quickly. So I think hats off to everybody on council and our staff, the professionalism that was displayed. So I have to say, thank you.
Well said. Wait, Councilor Champagne?
I'd like to thank everybody. I've been here 18 years now. And you never keep everybody happy. Doesn't matter what you do, but at the end of the day, after the meetings, you make a decision on what's right for the municipality, not for singling out any. So you make a decision what is good for the daily operations of the municipality. And if you stand by that, you'll never go wrong. And I've always stood for that, and I'm sure we all did. And that's why we have a council that doesn't sit out in the newspapers and be negative. We're always positive, no matter what the argument is, or no matter what the downfall is. We always come out with a togetherness, and it was right for the municipality. So I'd like to thank everybody for that, because it's never easy, and it's getting harder and harder. You got social media that you're fighting with now, but hopefully people see what we do for them. You know, our rates, our taxes, what we've accomplished, what we have, new buildings. We got a rec committee that Rita, that the municipalities have, and we still stay above water. And it's nice to see for a small community. We're growing. And we hear from the people with the growth that we're having. And it's going to be stumbling blocks along the way, but we're going to make it right. We're going to make it perfect. It won't be perfect, but it'll be right for the municipality. So again, thank you very much for coming. And hopefully we all see you again in a month. Yep.
Thank you. I'll say something. So on that note, we bring our meeting to closure. And Madam Clerk, I think I may have missed an item here. I'm so sorry. Am I good?
Yeah, we just have to do the confirmatory.
Okay, confirmatory bylaw. Please proceed.
I require a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councilor Champagne, seconded by Councilor Lumpy. Whereas council for the municipality of East Terrace deems it expedient to have three readings of the following bylaw this session. Be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council from September 27, 2022 to October 11, 2022 be read at first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2022-49, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
All in favor? You don't care. Thank you so much. Okay, good evening, everyone. Adjourn. Are we adjourned? I have lots of papers.
Lodging ending, moved by Councilor Champagne and seconded by Councilor Kelly. That we can now adjourn this meeting at 6:46 p.m. and meet again on November 8, 2020.
All in favor?